It's the second leading cause of death here in the Philippines. Strokes claim the life of one Filipino every minute. But here's the thing, that statistic doesn't have to remain the same because strokes can be preventable. Here to tell us how we can win our battle against strokes is neurosurgeon Dr. Manuel Mariano. He's the president of the Stroke Society Philippines. So nice to see you again, Dr. Mariano.
Yeah. Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Sure.
All right. So let's first begin with the definition of a stroke. What is it really?
Well, stroke is really, again, completely different from the concept of heart attack. This is brain attack. Stroke happens when there's a lack of blood supply to the brain, or there's a hemorrhage inside the brain. So the affected organ is the brain and not the heart.
And not the heart, because that's a common misconception.
Common misconception is that stroke involves the heart, but the heart can be a source of a stroke of the brain. If you have problems with the heart, abnormal rhythms, that can give rise to a stroke by blocking the arteries and going to the brain.
So why does it happen?
Well, many things. There are risk factors for people with stroke. Heart disease is one. People with AF or atrial fibrillation, people with diabetes, people with high cholesterol, people who smokes a lot, and alcohol that can damage the arteries supplying the brain, and this can clog up the brain and the arteries, and of course clog up the supply to the brain.
And often than not, we only find out that that's the underlying case after a stroke has happened already. But is it possible to de-escalate the situation?
Yes, I think primarily if you look at the factors that can be modified, so-called modifiable factors on strokes. So don't smoke, control your blood sugar, don't drink too much alcohol, and of course diet, lowering the cholesterol. And another one is be healthy by doing strenuous physical exercises, regular physical exercises to keep your body fit. And the other unmodifiable factors will be, of course, genetics. There are people with genetic predisposition, and that's hard to modify. So those factors that we can change, we ought to do it.
But if you already know that there's a predisposition in the family, more so that you have to modify your lifestyle.
So that, if you in the family there's a background of history of strokes, then you take a look at yourself and try to change all these factors that can affect your brain function and your heart and all those things.
Well, more often, we've heard this said time and again that the youth is wasted on the young.
Yep.
But when do you really start to take care of your body and make sure that you have a healthy lifestyle, so that you don't have to reach that point when you would have to de-escalate?
Exactly. The point we're in, we really have to take care of ourselves when we're still young. Again, cholesterol builds up over time. Smoking, the effect of smoking builds up again over time again. So, and diabetes, of course, will ruin your blood vessels as you age. So the earlier you control these factors, the lesser the chances of having a stroke.
Well, I mentioned a while ago in our intro that it's the second leading cause of death here in the Philippines. What
in the
makes
world,
it, and in the world, and what makes Filipinos in particular vulnerable to strokes? What is it in our lifestyle that makes us vulnerable?
Well, we're now in an age where our lifestyle is really not healthy right now. We have high salt diet. If you look at our diet, it's high salt, high cholesterol. A lot of people are sedentary. We don't really participate so much in sports, and of course, partly also the genetic aspect. Asians do have that higher propensity for intracranial hemorrhages, intracranial stenosis. Our arteries are smaller compared to other races. So, yes, Filipinos do have that high chance of high risk of strokes right now.
What about water? Does it play an integral part in making sure that you have a healthy lifestyle as well, drinking a lot of water?
Yes, in a way, yes, water, because one of the causes of strokes, again, is dehydration, the so-called venous thrombosis, wherein our arteries can be blocked because we're dehydrated. So making sure that you're well hydrated, especially during the hot seasons and during the the time when you're doing a lot of physical exercises, then you have to drink a lot of water and control your hydration to make you less prone to strokes.
And it's water in particular, not just any form of liquid or sweetened beverage, right? Because some people would think, no, you know, this is still liquid. This can replace water.
Well, the water is better than of course, sweetened drinks.
Let's talk about symptoms. What are the symptoms when you're having a stroke?
Well, we have this campaign, and if you remember the sign called Be Fast, again, it's a way of, for us to really make sure that the people are aware of the symptoms. B is for balance. You have changes in balance, imbalance, vertigo or dizziness. Okay, the eyes, either you have blurring of vision on one eye, or you have diplopia or double vision. And face, the F of the Be Fast is any asymmetry in the face. One side of the face is drooping, and of course the arms, A, you have weakness of one side of the body, and of course sensory, S, is the numbness that you can feel when you have a stroke, and the T stands for time, and that's what is important. Time is brain, so if you have these symptoms, we want